Hey guys, welcome to the next Blender tutorial. And I'm gonna say, what's up dog? Did you hear my dog barking? What's up doc? Or otherwise, what's up doc? Yeah, what's up doc? Because I've got a bunny, right? With my dog barking in the background. Hopefully it's nothing. I did go and see if there was any concern. I didn't see anything, and the other dogs aren't barking, which could be a worse thing, because then it's whatever's happening is only in my yard. But anyway, let's do this Blender tutorial before something serious happens. So we are in the character rigging business, or in the character rigging season. So I got this really awesome character over here. She was already rigged. Okay, if you've watched the animation, you know what movie this is from. But I removed the rigging and I just kept the mesh like this. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, lovely. And I have rigged her up before. She worked out pretty well. So I'm starting from scratch today. Don't worry, I'll fast forward all the rigging parts. Okay, so just to get this started, alright, I'm going to explain as I go along, because like I said, I want to do this as fast as possible. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, all right, we've rigged up a Lego man, and so today we're going to be rigging up a character where the mesh needs to bend. You know, you got a bit more detail and stuff like that, and I'm going to show you how awesome Blender's built-in Rigify is and how to use it. Right, that's what's going to help us to get this done pretty quick, pretty simple. So the first thing we need to make sure of, all right, not make sure of. The first thing that we need to do is that we can apply our I don't even know what I'm doing with my windows here. Let's roll them, make this guy. Right, there you go. And also I think I'm gonna make it the wireframe. And I think I'll make this guy a wireframe as well, and let's do it. And in case you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm holding in Z, and that gives us this menu, and also the tilde key with the squiggle in it gives me this menu over here. And I guess I'll use this for front. Alright, and I'll work with this window as I go along like that. So Shift A, and I use armature. Now there is a default human rig already done for you. Lovely, thank you Blender developers, thank you very much. And you'll see when I apply it, the size may differ, but don't worry. It is very important that over here, this button over here, where I can select my rotation point, then I'm going to say 3D cursor, and obviously you need to make sure that your 3D cursor is in the center, like that. That makes it easier. If you don't know how, Shift S and cursor to world origin, and make sure your character is also in the center. You can do it the same way, Shift S. Right, cursor to world origin. Thank you again. Sponsored by Blender developers. Thank you very much guys for that. Very awesome. So then what that enables me to do is I'm going to press S to scale down, and I'm going to get the human rig in place as much as possible. All right, so you can see how having the orientation point, the 3D cursor, which is in the world origin, and having your character also in the world origin helps you just to scale down. So yes, I'm going to get a good placement of this bone set here, and I think the best place to look at is to look at the collarbone. All right, looking in that, I think that looks pretty cool. All right, and then what we need to do is just get the other bones roughly in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create something called a meta rig over here, generate rig, and then from there we're going to parent. Okay, so first of all, the first bones that we can get rid of. Now you can add these. I'm not going to add them today, just because yeah, we're going to keep this quite straightforward. So which bones to delete? Right, I'm selecting my actual rig. Here we go, meta rig over here. Pressing edit, I can then select bones individually. I'm going to select all the bones as much up here as possible, but I want to deselect my head bone over here. So holding down shift and selecting the bone, or yeah, there you go. And that will then keep the head bone and the other neck bones in place. Press X, delete those bones, boom, and Bob is your uncle. Right, then what I can do with this bone then, I'm still in edit mode, and the nice thing is that, and we've learned this already, I can press G for grab, and I can make sure that the top of the bone touches the top of the head. And the reason why I'm doing it in my side view here is because whatever adjustments I make over here, if you look in this view over here, is going to keep it within the X axis. So you can, even I'm moving it crazy around here, you can actually see how the bone is keeping within the right X axis. So place that on top there, and then I'm going to select this bone down over here, grab him, and he should come to the bottom. Now these two bones, from what I believe, need to sort of like share the neck. There you go, bottom of the head, because that's your head bone. Alright, I guess the other thing that we need to then look at is continuing down. Now this could get quite technical, but BBBB, alright, yeah, so let's, I'm happy where these bones are. Alright, very good. You can see that my neck bone is in place there. The two are sitting within the neck. Very good. Okay. The next I'm going to do the odd bone. Now, you might say to yourself, but now I have to place these bones and I have to place these other bones. And I spoke about this in our last Lego Man tutorial, where you're able to, whatever I do on this side, I can mirror to this side. And that's easy, just by using this button over here. And you can see I'm going to mirror X. So that means if I select this bone, and if I move it around, you can see it's going to apply that side. And because my mesh is also within yes, this mode, this you know, that side is the same as this one, you know, that word that I'm looking for. Yeah, stop shouting at me. I know. Alright, I'm then going to place the bones also in place. Alright, so here we go. And you can see now here with the hand, I need to place the bone in place as well. And by the way, your rotation mode, if I put it on median point, that's going to help me as well, because it's not going to rotate around where the 3D cursor is. It's going to make it extremely difficult. So I'm going to select my hand like this, make sure I get all of the bones in there, and now I can grab it. Yeah, I don't have everything, there's a part of the thumb there. Grab it, let's put it in place. Now you can see when I rotate, I'm thinking about where I want the wrist to rotate. Alright, and then working in this side. Now you can see that in this angle everything looks fine, but if I look at this side, alright, that needs to change over there. In fact, I believe maybe that's what I needed to change this to top. And then I can get a nice view of that as well. Alright, here we go. Grab, put it in place, grab this elbow, grab, put it in place. I also need to think about where the elbow is on my character, and that's quite a nice place to put it. And then the next thing that I need to do is get the fingers in place. Now you will see that our character has 4 fingers. So the wonderful thing is that I'm able to, what was the side? Like left or something like that. Or let's go right. Okay. So what I'm able to do is I need to delete a finger, right? I'm going to choose this one. So that's nice. I can just select it just like that, press X, and that deletes it. Alright, then the next thing that I want to think about here is how do I want, at which places do I want, because, there you go, that's much better. Alright, X-ray mode. If I look at this finger here and I look at the amount of bones, there's 1, 2, 3 joints. Okay, so if I look at my fingers, so the first joint will be here. It looks like you can put a joint here, 1, 2, and 3 by the knuckles. So just thinking about that now. Now I don't know if you saw, but with this bone, yeah, it disconnects, which I don't want to, so I'm going to make sure that I've selected both, put them roughly there. Right, so there you can see how I've placed the fingers, thinking of where exactly I want the hands to, yes, move. And so, yeah, let's do the rest. Okay, so it's not perfect. I'm doing this quite quickly to get it over and done with, but something that's going to help with when we do the final rig is how they are bending. And I think even in terms of something that we need to make sure, so you'll see some of the fingers are it's a bit crooked here and there, but make sure that with the fingers that they bend nicely like that, you know, like fingers do. They bend that way, and that they aren't crooked like mine, which are, let's see if we can fix it up. I think there you go, that's a lot better. And something also to make sure, now these bones actually have their so-called axis, yeah, that word, their axes as well. Let me just quickly see if I remember how to do this. Yeah, there it is, axes. And that's gonna help with also the bending, because when you put the Rigify on, these fingers need to bend in a certain way and not the other way. So you can see how X, looking at it this way, how for all of them X is that way. Make sure that you haven't rotated them or bent them funny, or just make sure that Y is, yeah, X is always off to the side. All right, it looks like this one's like they're a bit skew. All right, but and especially with the thumb as well, you can see with the thumb we're probably going to get something funny with these ones with my thumb here, because I think that they rotate X-wise. But anyway, we'll have a look at that. Let me go back into edit mode with the bones, of course. And there you go. In fact, that makes it a lot clearer. Look at that. When I actually go into edit mode, you can see how these bones are nicely sitting, so that X is, you know, left to right, same, sort of the same, yeah. And if you want to, so like this one I can see is definitely going to be a bit of a problem. Press N, so I select the bone, and here you have roll. So roll will help us just fix that up. Okay, and I spoke about these bones over here as well. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to make sure X, you know, looking at the way that the thumb is going to need to bend. And like I said, I know that one of the things that Riggify, which we're going to sort out now with the elbow and the legs, I think the fingers will take you the longest to get into position. But the beautiful thing is, if you look now on this side, these ones are in place already for us. Okay, very, very nice. There you go. All right, then the next thing we need to do is make sure that the spine is also sitting in place, which I'm happy with. All right, and then of course there are these hips. So I think that this bone can definitely move more down, because I need to think of it filling the mesh quite nicely. So I would say that looks about right. And you can see how I'm grabbing one, I'm not grabbing two, and it's falling into place. So I'm going to grab this hip bone over here. Again, you've got to think about where you want the mesh to roughly bend. Alright, so like the kneecaps, you can see how far up the kneecaps are here. They need to be down here. And here you go, let's grab the feet, put them in place. Now I know that the one problem we're going to have is if you look at the way these legs are, they do curve a bit like this, and the Rigify is going to pick that up as the leg bending like that as well. Alright, so we're going to need to fix that, and I'll show you now. Let's quickly just finish up his feet quickly. Alright, and this bone over here is used for the roll. So it doesn't have to be in the mesh. You just need to make sure that this is where your ankle is going to be. So that's where the foot is going to bend. That's what you got to think about, and that is where the foot is going to roll from. Alright, you'll understand a bit later. And then something else that I did here was that she's got 3 toes over here. It's created for a character that only has almost like a shoe on or something. So that is the area where I'm going to want the toes to bend, right? So if you look at this, the toe can maybe bend from that area over there. So yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to show you something pretty cool here. So I'm going to grab the tip of that toe bone, take it right to the edge there. And then I can select this bone and I can hit Shift D. There you go. And again, Shift D. You can even press X just to make sure that it only duplicates in that axis only. Right. Now if you look here, the knees actually already got a bit of the legs already got a bit of a bend here. I'm going to keep that like that. I'm not going to actually do any further adjustments. Now, like I said, I am in a hurry. I've just saved my project because I need to do this. I don't want to waste too much time. And these bones over here are apparently called breast bones, which are only really suitable for female characters. You can delete them if you need to, unless you feel like you need them. Alright, now I'm looking at these arm bones, and what I want to keep in mind here is again that Rigify is going to determine which way the arm is bending. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab just the joint there, the tail of the bone, or the head. It's the head of this tail, it's the head of this bone and the tail of this bone, and I'm just going to push it just slightly a bit more back, just so that Riggify can pick up that that's the direction in which the bone needs to be bending. Alright, let's hit save. Okay, let's have a look here. I think that should do it. I hope that should do it. Yeah. You can sit and perfect it according to your rig. So let's press save. And what I like to do is I'm going to create a different version of this. So I'm going to call this Rigify this, because basically now what we're going to do is that if I need to go back after I'm hitting the Rigify button, let's say I go further on in my tutorial and I find out, oh no, I haven't done this correctly. I need to go back to when I put the meta rig in place. Then I'm able to go back to that file. So I've got that file saved now there, and now I'm going to continue with this one. So the next thing I'm going to do is, now you're able to parent this if you want to. All right, you can go further. I can select my rig. The right thing to do with parenting is to first select the child. So I've selected my entire mesh here, and then Command Shift, my meta rig. Alright, and how you'll know that the meta rig is going to be the parent, because you can see it's brightly orange selected, and I can press Command P and I can say with automatic weights, which then Blender's going to do the work for you and determine the bone that is in the area of whichever part of the mesh that the bone will basically parents. And then I take a sip of my coffee. But the right thing to do here is that even though I parent the bone to the mesh and the bone will work nicely, and you can do any alterations after that, it's cooler when you have IK and I believe it's RK and IK, right, set up for you already, which Blender does already for you. You don't need to have that knowledge, although it's good to know. But anyway, so I'm going to select the meta rig, all right, and before I hit our button over here to create a rig, it is important that you find out exactly where it is, because I think I've minimized it. Rigify button, there you go, generate rig. If I generate a rig right now as it is, I have not I've not updated the scale of the rig. Alright, Blender still sees it as the rig is just scaled down like this. So what you're going to do is press Ctrl A and say apply the transformation to all. Alright, and then you'll see over here now it's still 1:1. Then I'm going to say generate rig, and what's it going to look at is it's going to look at your rig. It's going to look at how you've placed it, and from that it's going to deter, and it's going to create these nice rigging controls for you. Now look at this. This is wonderful because you can see the arrows are in front, so which means that the knee is going to bend the right way, right? That's basically the front of the knee, which is right. That is the elbow over there, which is placed right. So right now, and by the way, you've got controls for foot placement, for rolling the foot, for your fingers as well. And by looking at these fingers now they should be perfectly parallel with the fingers, which is not. You can see this one is a bit off. The thumb is going to go crazy, but sure, yeah, we're going to need to fix those up. And then that's also control. So these are different controls. So right now it doesn't work. I need to parent. All right. So again, I'm going to click save, and I'm going to create myself a new file. You don't have to do this. This is just, I'm basically creating, sort of backup, go back sort of files. And I'm just going to call this parent this. So that's how far we are right now. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select child, which is my mesh. And then I'm going to select this new rig over here. Don't worry about the meta rig. In fact, you can even hide that rig. What matters is the new rig over here that Blender has created for you with the IK and OK. And I'm selecting first my mesh, then I'm selecting the rig, and then I'm going to press Command P. And there's lots of options here. The last time we used with empty groups. Remember that with the Lego. Now we're using with automatic weights. And it's going to think and do the work for you. Blender's going to work for you. And by the way, I'm using my 2013 MacBook Pro. My iMac, I left the power supply in my car. And I'm screen recording at 1080 and I'm doing my Blender work. So, yep, Mac goes all the way. Right, so now it's parented. All right, let's have a look at this. So I select my rig, and over here I go into pose mode. And you can see it's even changed different colors. Each color represents something. So this over here is my main control. So if I press grab, you can see the whole rig moves along, except for items that I need to just attach. You can see the badge and some stuff there, but we'll look at that. Now if I grab this box over here, which is basically your hip control, so I'm going to double press G. Now notice how when I press down, you see how the knees bend as well nicely for me. So I can move it around. It's really cool. The hands are still okay. You should probably test the rig. Grab my foot control here, and now I can lift my foot. I can put it forward. Can you see where it's bending? It's bending in the right place. Very cool. Those controls over there is for my roll. I press R for rotate. Okay, rotate X. There you go. Look at that. And I can grab here, lift it up like this for my foot placement. Okay. There are other things here like this. This is my hand control. Double G. Okay. I think it's double R. No. Okay. So some fixing needs to happen there. Maybe I'm grabbing the wrong controls here. Oh yes, something I can do. I have my rig. Let's have a look here. in front. So you can see how I've selected my rig, gone into this item over here, and I've said display in front, because then they can show me all my controls. Look, it looks like I've grabbed the right controls there, so that is a bit concerning. Oh, there you go. So there, I can grab my hand, I can rotate. That's how now I can reposition my hand there. Lovely. I know this looks crazy. I think there are ways to sort of hide and control which ones you don't want in that. There's my head control, double R for rotate, and there you go. You can see how some items like the teeth in that and the tongue are not working, but the head is rolling quite nicely and the eyes are along with it. And so yeah, there you go. And I think this is the end of this video. I'm not going to go anywhere further, because in our next tutorial, so if you want to reset, by the way, after you've like really messed around, see there's even controls there for like hip movement. Yep. Okay, doing all sorts of other stuff. Sit and play around with your rig, see what they all do. In the next video, we're going to fix up this rig nicely. By the way, let me show you the fingers. I'm just going to turn off this because I don't like the view like this. I'm going to turn off in front. Now how you control the fingers is you scale them. So I'm going to press the scale and I'm going to push it in, and there you go. You can see how that finger works quite nicely. These ones I think are not going to be too bad. They might go a bit off to the side. I know the big, yeah, here we go. This one's going to go skew. It's not too bad, but you can see how it's sort of going off to the side. Let's see, scale, and there's your thumb. It's not too bad, but it can be much better than that. Alright, so yeah, we'll look at all the other controls and that. In our next video, we're going to fix this all up. If you want to reset all of this, here's the trick. A, to select all of your rig, and then F3. Alright, on a MacBook Pro, you got to press the FN and then F3 in the corner, and search for reset unkeyed, and that will reset your rig to where it was. Yes, so in our next video, we're going to fix up, and then we're probably going to do a cool animation with our new rig character. Otherwise, hey, you can go ahead and you can have fun and animate your character. If you don't know how to do the keyframing, I've taught about the keyframing before in our video. It's exactly the same way. You select the part. There's a cool workspace over here for animation, where you can see your timeline. If you want to add on the dope sheet, you can do that as well. Alright, yeah, let's not mess this up too much, but anyway, you know how to keyframe. If you don't know, like I said, go check out my previous tutorials. You know, we can even put in some sort of nice control for these ears, and she even has a tail. But anyway, yeah, so guys, support and subscribe to this channel to, yes, support what we're doing here, and also like this video, because I know you like this video. Pretty straightforward. Thanks to the Blender developers for Rigify. Hope this has blessed you as much as what it's blessed me. We're going to do something cool with this character in the next video. Cheers, guys.